Hi, I'm Muhammad Ali Ijaz, and today I want to share my perspective on characteristics and traits that constitute an old soul. Now, an old soul is someone who has insights, knowledge, and wisdom beyond their years. They have certain information or perspective or wisdom at a very young age, which they shouldn't have, which they are incapable of having unless they're an old soul who's lived many past lives, possibly hundreds or over 1,000 incarnations, which has endowed them with great insight and wisdom. As someone who was born with great morality and wisdom, they have earned that right, they have earned that state from their many past lives. No one can be an old soul or sage unless they have become that from their many past efforts in their previous incarnations. Now, an old soul is world weary. They're not drawn towards material existence, towards pursuits that are of interest to the senses. They're concerned with freeing themselves from the cycle of samsara, attaining what's known as liberation, moksha, or mukti. Because an old soul who was born on the earth in Kali Yuga, they may intuitively understand that the world is suffering in Kali Yuga. Therefore, it is of utmost importance to pursue the path towards liberation because things are very bad on the earth in this age. It is a life of hardship and sorrows for the majority of humankind. Now, an old soul may be introspective, quiet, solitary. They may be drawn to living a simple, judicious life like a monk. They are concerned with knowledge, with understanding, with comprehending their life purpose and what they truly desire to achieve. Indeed, if they are actually an old soul, then they may be endowed with great morality and wisdom, and they are here to share that with humankind to help evolve and transform humankind for their final lifetime, particularly if they are on the earth in Kali Yuga. So humankind is in need of great help because it is referred to as the age of darkness and evil, or conflict and confusion. So humanity is in a great state of not only strife but deep ignorance, where truth and wisdom has become lost. And indeed, in this age, majority of humankind are not drawn to truth and wisdom. They're not interested in philosophy, truth, and wisdom. Indeed, they may reject it. They prefer what's false, deceitful, lies, ignorance, entertainment. As a result of that, that's why the majority of the world is in a state of great suffering, because their refusal to listen to actual truth and wisdom, which could be of great benefit to the earth and humanity. Now, an old soul may not be interested in marriage or children, as they should understand, and indeed that if one procreates, they will return to this earth. Because a soul has been brought into flesh, you too will need to return to flesh. Because what constitutes moksha is ridding oneself of worldly desires, but it occurs at the deepest soul level. It's not something that is internally within the mind or heart. It is a complete recession or riddance of worldly desire. Now, they may be romantically inclined, they may have love interests, but they may not necessarily be tied to people, so they don't want to be tied or restricted down to one particular individual. But with their world weariness, they're not drawn to anything which can bind them to this realm, anything which can cause a strong sense of attachment. Because part of samsara, or what prolongs it, is a life which is saturated in hedonistic and materialistic pursuits. So in other words, a soul which is drawn at first for material existence because it is saturated with sense perception, and it likes to live a life which is materialistic and pleasure of the senses, and therefore it is imbound within it. And then secondly, living an evil, immoral life will lead one to go down to hell worlds and infernal realms because of their very bad karma, or in other words, actions and consequences that have reaped. What's not understood is that actions and consequences can reverberate from lifetime to lifetime. For those who understand that this earth is an incarnational colony and human form and existence is only one of many experiences, only a true old soul will comprehend that. Someone who has insights, they have an inner knowing there is life beyond this third dimensional plane. If one is a third, fourth dimensional soul, they won't have any comprehension of that. Because indeed in Kali Yuga, the majority of humankind is in a deep state of ignorance. Truth and wisdom has become lost. Now, if someone is indeed a sage, then they have a great responsibility towards the earth and humanity. It is their responsibility to guide and help humanity evolve through conveying actual truth and wisdom and morality. Because if that is not done, then you have a situation where the world is apathetic and tolerant towards great evil and ignorance. And if nobody is opposing it, then you have a state of complete corruption and lawlessness as is seen in the world today. So those who are actual old souls and who care about the evil and injustice in the world, they have a moral responsibility to oppose it and bring attention towards that. Because if a population is apathetic and tolerant towards great evil and injustice, then it shouldn't be surprised when tyranny and evil sweeps the whole world in turn. Now, what's referred to as moksha, that's not knowledge to be understood, because it should be understood that in Kali Yuga, the majority of religions and teachings are corrupt. What they teach is this false phrase meaning enlightenment, meaning they think that it's some knowledge to be comprehended or understood, where what actually is moksha is release, meaning if someone is a sage, they have deep knowing and truth and wisdom. They are in a state of knowing, not a state of knowledge. They have that. And then also they've removed their thirst for material existence. So it's a coming of age. Someone who is a sage, a liberated sage, they've not only eradicated their desire for material existence at the deepest soul level, but they've reached the end of their soul's journey, where they actually have true knowing and wisdom beyond comprehension. Now, what also constitutes an old soul is they may not necessarily follow any particular belief system or religion. Indeed, they may have their own, what's called a master soul or sage. They have their own beliefs, ideologies, knowledge, principles, and values that have come from within. It's not come from any external source. Therefore, they may be individualistic and nonconformist, as they don't follow anything in particular because they don't belong to anything. They move throughout their life journey. They march to the beat of their own drum. They have their own unique perspective, which has not been given from any external source. I believe that's everything I have to share today on my perspective on what constitutes an old soul. But if you want to hear true writings from a real old soul, be sure to get my new book, Wisdom from the Inner Oracle, Why Humanity Must Evolve. If you want to learn knowledge, truth, insights from an old soul, if you want to hear perspectives that will be of great benefit to humanity as a whole, be sure to visit my website at mohammedaliijaz.com. And don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.